Ministry. I was born into a Christian family, so yeah, there you go. That's a pretty good start. I was also born into a musical family. I've been homeschooled all my life. I would get into the car, like every time I get into the car, I would plug in my headphones to my MP3 player, and I would sing my heart out. And one time my brother told me to just shut up and I was no good. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'll get into dance. So that's what I did. You'd expect that things would just go great because I was homeschooled in a Christian family. I was that one person that would just go to church every week. But later on, I was having problems in my dancing. I had a problem in my feet called metatarsal adductus. And what that does is it causes the bones in your feet to go completely inward instead of straight. And you obviously can't dance, or you can hardly walk with that. I was depressed and insecure. It was getting really bad. I started cutting. I hated myself. I was anorexic. It hurt to look in the mirror and to see that I was still alive. It hurt to know that I had a heartbeat and that I could breathe. I ignored help that I got from my family and from my friends and from my youth pastor. I go to Ignite on Wednesdays. I ignored the fact that God loved me and that He had a plan. I ignored it all, and I would stay in my room all day. I would never leave. I tried to keep faith, and things weren't going right. I got back on track for a while. I was just ready to be done with the way I was living. So I got back on track, but later on, it was in the spring of 2013, I had a nightmare that I was walking through some house, and it was just like a completely dark house, and I found a candle in some room, and so I went and sat down by the light, and I looked up, and there was a girl, and she had bleeding wrists, and she looked like she hadn't eaten in months. And in shock, I stood up, and I realized I was looking into a mirror, and I thought that I had things fixed. I thought that I was doing things right. And I realized that eventually this is going to happen again. And I tried to prepare myself for it, but I couldn't get things right. I actually got in to not sleeping at night. I would stay up all night. I was pretty much going through insomnia. And sure enough, I got into cutting again. And it actually came down to the fact where I was on vacation with my best friend at one point, and I would go into the bathroom and find any sharp object that I could, and I would cut my wrists every day. And you're supposed to be on vacation, you're supposed to be happy, but I couldn't smile. At that time, I was writing on average 6 songs a day. And that's a lot. It usually takes a week or so to write a single song, but I could write about 6 songs with everything that I had to get out. Eventually, I got back up and put my faith back in God. And nobody has a good life. Yeah, going back to the fact I'm homeschooled, I wouldn't usually have to deal with crap, but everybody does. But you really just got to keep going, no matter what. We have to choose the way that we live, and that's up to you. Every believer who has died has won, everyone. God literally came so that way imperfect people would not have to die and just be gone forever. Because, I deserve it. I hated the life that God gave me. I hated it, and I wanted nothing to do with it. But I got back on track, and everyone can. So, thanks guys. Woo!